Hey everybody, I'm gonna give people a minute to pop in here and get the camera set up here. I thought I would do something special today. I don't go live very often, so I'm not sure. Oh, I think I may have one person. If you're here, say hi. I came out today to the local greenhouse. I thought that what I would do was answer some questions for people and talk about some seasonal greens for the spring and what you should buy or not buy. We are in an interesting time frame in the middle of March where that might change very soon. Our last frost date is April 1st, and we at that point can start thinking about things like tomatoes and peppers and some of our summer veg. But right now, what you're going to find out in the stores is a lot of your spring stuff. So I don't know if you can see behind me here, I am at the Farmers Exchange in Rock Hill. If you are a Rock Hillian, say hey. I came over here just to do some filming. I may also head over to Wilson's on my Instagram, and I can do a little bit of filming over there as well. Probably similar content, just different platform. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to see people's questions or not, but I just wanted to come over here and, number one, support the local greenhouse because I like supporting the little guys. And number two, I wanted to be able to talk to you guys about some of the stuff that you're going to find right now if you go to the greenhouse. I did not plant any seeds for the spring. I had a lot going on with my family. But if you didn't plant seeds either, I don't want you to worry because there's other ways that you can do this. I've been doing this for quite some time, and you can come out to the greenhouses and buy your plants. In fact, you can go to like the local big box stores as well. Sometimes I will buy from them depending on where I'm at. But I just wanted you guys to know that this is also an option. So this right here is a hybrid Bonnie's Best cabbage. So cabbage is something that is a spring vegetable, and most of the stuff that you're going to find right now is going to be your spring vegetables. So if we take a little walk around here, let's see what we got. Let's see, this is a stone head cabbage here. 45-day cabbage. That's important to know because that means that this will likely ripen in 45 days. You'll be able to start eating this. Something like this for this time of year is probably a good buy because we're going into the heat of the summer very soon. So we're going to have our, tomatoes and peppers and summer veg. These are not summer veg. So what's going to happen is once it gets really warm, these will start to send off a flower. That's what we call bolting. And then that flower is what produces seed, and that's how these plants are trying to replicate and keep their lifespan going, is by creating seed. For these, the heat is what actually activates some of that. So if you start buying your cabbage, the closer we get to May, it could be a problem. You may not see the cabbage that you hope to see because it may not have enough time to mature. So I would say right now, if you are in South Carolina where I am, in fact, right now I am in Rock Hill at the Farmers Exchange. And if you are in this area, look for the shorter time framed items. Kale will still be fine. I'm trying to think what else. Chard will probably be fine. And we're going to see what else they have here. But your broccoli, that's going to take a little bit longer. I'm not saying don't buy it because you still have time for that one. But if it gets too hot too fast, it could bolt. So that was that 45-day cabbage. And I will say I often like coming to the local greenhouses for this reason. $5.99, 6 plants. If any of you started gardening during COVID, you know that they started really jacking up the prices of plants. And these do happen to be Bonnie plants that they have here. And I was not liking the fact that they were jacking up the prices so much. They tend to do it more, I think, for the summer veg, like your tomatoes, your Better Boy tomatoes and some of that kind of stuff. But they were, $6 for one plant. That's not even reasonable. It's like at that point, just buy your tomatoes. And I will also say, check your local garden groups, ask your neighbors. I promise you this time of year, people are going to have all of that stuff and they're going to have a ton of it, and you can get it for free versus paying those kinds of prices. So don't do that. This isn't bad. $1 a plant isn't bad. So this here is an early Jersey Wakefield cabbage. Let's see what this one's about. 24 inches apart, 60 to 75 days. So we're March 16th. Is it March 16th today? That means that in 2 months is when this matures. So you're going to be into May, almost June. So you have to kind of play that by ear and go, all right, do I have enough time for this thing to mature? I think you're still okay with this one. If it starts getting over 80 days, I'd be careful of those. At least if you are in South Carolina where I am, where it's already getting hot. I am in zone 7B, 8A. If you are in 7A or zone 6 or 5, which is going to be further up north, you're probably still fine. You're probably still getting cooler temperatures. We've gotten really warm really fast here in South Carolina, and because I didn't start seeds, I'm nervous about what I can buy and what I can try here. So this is a flat Dutch cabbage, and I won't go through all the cabbages here, but Brussels sprouts. All right, this one here, y'all, I've been doing this a while. I still can't figure out Brussels sprouts. So if you have tips on Brussels sprouts, share them with me, because I seem to suck at it. I do them in the fall. I don't think this time of year you're probably going to have enough time to get them to the size that they need. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, please tell me. And sorry for the traffic. This greenhouse is right up against a highway, and I didn't bring my earbuds, so there might be a little bit of noise. But yeah, I suck at Brussels sprouts. I've never been able to grow them. I've tried several times. 85 to 90 days after planting. That's 3 months. I can't see this working out well. So if I were you, avoid the Brussels sprouts. Plant your Brussels sprouts in the fall. Or if you had started them way earlier, you'd probably fine. But I think right now is probably too late for this one. And this is also why I'm doing this live, because I want people to realize some of the stuff that they maybe should or shouldn't buy to have better success. I hate that people buy things like peas already started at the store. And I know Lowe's and Home Depot were selling them at was it June? May and June? You're not going to grow peas in May and June. They're a spring veggie. And I want people to know not to buy those if that's the case. I don't want you wasting your money. So let's see what else we got here. Kale. Kale is always going to be a winner. Kale is actually going to make it through some of the heat. I would say a dino kale is a little bit hardier than some of the other ones. The one thing you will probably have to start looking for, though, watch out for the white cabbage moths. If you start seeing those, that means that they're going to lay eggs on this stuff and they're going to chew through it. I get that problem a lot in the fall. I haven't noticed it this year yet, but with it warming up, the potential is always there. So yeah, you could plant your kale. Kale does pretty good. It is getting warm for that as well. My kales at home are bolting already. So keep an eye on it. You might want to trim it when it's young, just so that you can get what you need from it. But that's a good one that you could do. Celery. My celery, this one can be a biannual, meaning it can live for 2 years. So I think you're okay with this one, but I will say as the summer gets hotter and as the temperatures get warmer, it does get more woody and less palatable. Mine has been growing for 2 years now, and I tend to use it for things like making stock. I don't tend to eat it because it just got too fibrous and woody for me. So I just want you to keep that in mind, that you're okay if you plant this, but just keep in mind that I haven't been able to grow it the way that other people have, where they can keep it to where they can eat it. You're supposed to cover part of it and blanch it. That's you can put a cardboard tube around the base, and that's supposed to help keep it tender. I tend to just use it for making soup stock, and it's just fine the way that it is. But you can certainly play with that one. Here's a red romaine. Oh, this one's pretty. That one is very pretty. Again, that's a lettuce. Lettuces like to be a little bit cooler. They're going to be fine right now. And I'm not sure what the breaking point is for them, but we have hit 80 degrees here. Most of the time we are probably in the 60s or 70s, so they're fine, but it's getting on the warm side of things. So if you want to plant your lettuce, starting it from seed is really easy. You just have to keep it watered. So it's probably a cheaper way to do it, but if you buy the plants, you already have a pretty good start, where these have been growing for probably, 3 or 4 weeks already. So this might be the way to go for your lettuce, and just plan to harvest it very soon. Let's see what they say on these. 21 to 50 days. So yeah, these are getting, I mean, you could see how big these are next to my hand. So these are babies. You can technically eat them the way that they are now, though they're kind of little, but you can let them get bigger and those should be fine. But again, they will bolt when the weather gets too hot. And the temperature for each of these is going to change likely. So I can't give you one roundabout temperature, but I will say that some of my stuff at home is already bolting. My kale is bolting. I have cabbage. I don't know if the cabbage is bolting yet. I don't think I have any lettuce, but lettuce is one that can be a little more delicate. You can also move your lettuce into kind of a shaded area, maybe where it gets some dappled light. That'll keep the temperature down as well, and that might help. This here is a romaine. I love growing the romaines. Oops, I don't know if I can get this out. Look at those. I mean, those are just about ready to eat now. But you could plant these in, say, like a window box and keep that to where you could move it around your yard and put it on the edge of where you've got some sunlight and a little bit of shade, and they should do just fine. It'll keep the temperature down just enough. You may also want to move it in and out, move it out to get a little bit of sun. But I think that your lettuces, as long as they have a good head start, you are probably fine. Let's see what this one says. 21 to 75 days. So, I mean, these are probably, if I had to guess, these might be close to, say, 21 days, because that's pretty big. That's pretty big. So they are at a point where you could probably start harvesting those. And I'm so sorry about the sound. Can I mute this? I don't think I can. I don't see a way to mute it. Sorry. I can't do anything about the road being right over there. Then you got your broccoli here. Again, this is one that takes some time. Broccoli and cauliflower are both cold weather crops that take a lot of time. So the dates on these are 55 to 65 days. So that's in 2 months. In 2 months, we are going to be well on our way into June. So keep that in mind. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it might be a little bit of a challenge. So that is a good portion. Let's see what they got over here. Now, if you look behind me, we've got plants upon plants upon plants. And I wanted to see what else they got. See, they're starting tomatoes. This is what your tomatoes look like when they start. These are babies. These are only probably a week old, maybe 2 weeks. Don't buy those and plant those yet. Don't do it. 7B, 8A, don't buy those yet. Our last frost date, I said it at the beginning, but in case you missed it, in 7B, 8A, our last frost date is April 1st. We still could get a frost that then would kill those. They cannot stand any frost whatsoever. So you want to make sure to wait till that April 1st date. If you already have bought some and planted them, make sure you're always watching the weather and make sure that you have something that you can cover them with so that if we do get a frost, it keeps that frost off of them, and then you might be able to save them if it doesn't get too cold. I would say we're not in bad shape. Most of our nights are at 40, 44 degrees, 50 degrees, but your soil temperature is not to that level yet. So the soil is still going to be a little bit cooler, and we need for that to heat up before we start planting some of these summer vegetables. So I would say wait on your peppers, wait on your tomatoes, especially if you're further north in zone, we'll say zone 654, going that way. If you're going south down into Florida, do what you want. Do what you want to do. You have a little more freedom. Let's see. These are collards. Collards are pretty hardy, so I think you could get away with collards for a little while. Mine at home are bolting, but it's because they were planted in the fall. What else have we got in here? That's a cabbage, cauliflower. I haven't seen, this greenhouse usually has some that they have planted themselves. These all seem to be the Bonnie plants. But I like when they have their own. I don't know if I can find one to show you guys an example. Maybe they didn't do the spring ones. They do the tomatoes a lot where they'll have their own varieties. But cauliflower, broccoli, let's see, what does the cauliflower say? Oh, this one doesn't. 50 to 70 days. So when you see these dates on here, that's what that means. So 50 to 70 days means you're not going to get a head of cauliflower or broccoli or cabbage or whatever for 50 to 70 days. So you want to make sure that whatever you're growing the right vegetable that will have enough time to get to maturity. And that's exactly why I'm here today talking about these cooler weather vegetables, because I want people to know that the closer we get to those hotter temperatures, the bigger the risk you're running into with some of these plants of them bolting. And it won't be your fault. It won't be anything that you've done wrong. It's just the nature of the plant. You know, that's what they do. When it gets hot, they want to survive, so they send off a flower and they go to seed. Oh, here we go. So see this one here? I like to look for these because this means that this was likely planted by them. Sorry, Bonnie Plants already hates me probably because I've shat on them before. But these are likely grown here from the greenhouse, where the ones with the Bonnie tags are probably ones that they have purchased and brought in. It's still supporting this little greenhouse, but I do tend to like to get the ones that I know that they're probably started from them. So that's what that one is. That is a Siberian kale. Let me put that back because I don't want to rob someone of their marker. Let's see what else we got. Asparagus. All right, this one, guys, this is a big one that annoys the crap out of me. So if you're someone who wants to grow asparagus, I see this every so often. I'm not saying this can't work. Do you see that little thing? Asparagus is going, if you buy the asparagus at this size, you're not going to be able to harvest asparagus for, I would say, 4 years, 5 years. So you're going to pay $6 for one. Now, if there's a crown underneath there developing, the crown is what you want. But this is not the way to go with these. This was the kind of stuff I was wondering if I was going to find out here and wanted to educate you guys on. So asparagus, I have videos, I think, on my YouTube. I've also done some that might be scattered around on my Instagram and my TikTok. Asparagus is something that takes time for the root crown to develop. So go online and search for asparagus crowns and buy them that way. They're not going to be cheap. You're going to pay maybe $30 for, say, 10 crowns. But those are already established crowns that have been growing for 2 to 3 years. So you only have to cultivate them at home for a few years on your own property before you can start to harvest them. This, y'all, no, that's going to take forever. If you have that kind of patience and that kind of money to pay $6 for one, go for it. But I could buy a whole bunch of asparagus for $6 at the store. I just want you guys to get your money's worth, and I don't think that's going to be the way to do it. Now, where did I get this tag? That one was there. In previous years, I've seen where they did several in a cup, and you can often separate those, but just don't do that one. Don't do it. And don't do peas. If we find peas, I'm going to tell you not to do the peas either, because peas grow so easy from seed. More kale, rhubarb. See, now we're getting into their handwritten. I look for the handwritten ones because it means that they've come from the greenhouse. They've grown them from their seeds, and they weren't purchased. Kale. What else is in here? Carrots. This is interesting. This is interesting. I suppose you can separate those, but you see that clump? That is just a giant clump of carrots all on top of one another. They're not going to grow that way. They're just not. They need to be spaced out. They need to be spaced out like 3 inches at least. And you could take these apart and put them even in like a bucket. I've seen people do these in 5-gallon buckets. But you're not going to buy this like this, and they're not going to grow correctly. So I'm not saying no. I'm just saying there are better ways. There are better ways. So buyer beware on this clump of carrots that I thought was going to be chamomile or something. It's not. That's a clump of carrots. No. Here's another one, beets. Why are they doing this like this? So They basically have plopped a bunch of seeds all at once in here. That is just a giant clump of beets all growing on top of each other. They're not going to grow like that. They need space. They need areas for them to bulb out. You can try separating them and you'll have some luck with that, I think, but you're probably not going to get all of those, and you might do damage to the roots when you separate them. So when you see this, be careful what it is. Be careful. Lettuce, I've had good luck splitting up. You can do. This might do okay. I've never tried beets this way because I start beets from seed because they're so easy to start from seed. So I usually space them the way they're supposed to be spaced in the garden and call it a day. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Let's see what else we got here. Here's some more romaine lettuce. Again, they've got it all clumped together. You'll want to separate these out. Let me see if I can set this down and show you. I don't want to mess with their plants too much, but if you look in here, there's a lot of plants on top of one another. And what you'll do is you'll tease out one. Make sure that the soil is nice and wet. See, I think this is going to break. See that? That is one plant. You can separate those, and with lettuce, I've actually had pretty good luck doing that with lettuce. So if you bought this here, I mean, I don't even know, there's probably 20 plants in there. That one you might have pretty good luck with. You definitely might. I've never seen them sell this like this. This is hilarious to me. I'm gonna put that back in there because I'm not trying to. There we go. Hopefully that'll be okay. So yeah, that's very interesting. I'm gonna have to take a picture of that before I leave, and I'll do a post on Instagram about that too, to remind people. I want to see what else we got in here. Spinach is definitely one that is a cooler weather crop. Again, you could plant this in a window box and shift it around, put it in some of your shade. It's not gonna like 100% shade, but it will keep it cooler. Same with cilantro. Everybody thinks cilantro is a hot weather plant, probably because it goes with things like tomatoes and salsa and peppers. Cilantro is actually a cool weather plant. So it likes this time of year, but if you let it go into the heat, it's gonna bolt and you're not gonna get any. I do have a solution for that though, because I have grown what's called culantro. Culantro is a broadleaf. I don't know if it's a cousin, but it tastes just like it, and it likes the heat and it likes the humidity. So especially in South Carolina, it tends to do very, very well. So keep that in mind. Right now is okay, but the warmer we get, you're running some risks on that. What else have we got? Herbs are always a safe bet. I plant a lot of herbs in window boxes, and they do fantastic. I plant them on my deck. And I've got some different mints. I've got like a trailing rosemary. I don't tend to do tarragon because it's not one that I cook with, but they've also got, that's tarragon as well. Thyme, if you plant this, it should come back year after year after year, unless it gets frozen. In South Carolina, ours will winter over. Mine winters over in my window boxes, in fact. So this one, you can buy it once and it'll keep coming back. So that's a good one. Mint is another one that be careful where you plant it and what you do with it, because you may never be able to get rid of it. I never had that problem. I used to kill it left and right. They say it's a full sun plant, and in my heat in South Carolina, mine always do much better in like a dappled condition or part shade. So, and if you plant that in your beds, it can take over. So be careful of that. What else have we got here? More romaine. These might be the same. The beets, the carrots. What's this one here? This is a sage here. Sage is a good one. Sage will keep coming back as well. Catnip should keep coming back. Leeks. This is a good one to talk about. Okay. So you're going to see the same thing that we just saw with those carrots and the beets, where they're all clumped together. This is actually good for the leeks. This is how they plant the leeks. You plant them all in one big, dense block, And when you get this home, you separate them. So I've got some growing in my garden right now that are all on top of one another. And in the coming weeks, we'll probably go ahead and separate them. But let me see if I can find a flat space. So here's your leeks. If I could take this out, I would take the whole thing and I would kind of, you know, tease away some of the soil. I'm hoping I can just grab one so I don't ruin these. It may not come out because these are too delicate, so I don't think I can do it. And I don't want to ruin their plant. Try this very slowly. Come on. Nope, it's not gonna work. Okay, we're gonna pretend that came out with the roots, and I'm gonna leave this alone because I don't wanna keep doing this. If that had roots, that's exactly what that's supposed to look like, and you can plant these individually spaced out. Leeks are gonna need a little bit of space, I don't know, probably 6 inches. Might even be able to get away with like 4 inches. They don't need a ton of space. But you can plant that and separate these out, and that's like 20 leeks. That's okay if you see them for the leeks. That's how I've always seen them for leeks, unless I've started them by seed. So that one is okay. Then we've got some parsleys, and let's see, there's some other mints. What else have we got over here? Stevia should be fine. I've grown stevia before, but I've never used it. Oregano is part of your mint family again, so be careful where you plant it. It could take over. I think I have mine in a pot. Curled parsley. What else have we got over here? I don't know if I'm stepping into their like potting area. It might be. We'll just do this. I think that's their potting area, where the sale area is over here. And I'm doing this out in public, so I'm trying not to run into people too badly. Catnip. If you missed earlier when I said this, if you find the tags that are handwritten, a lot of times these are actually the greenhouse's plants and not ones that they've purchased from Bonnie or whatever. So I tend to like to get those. And here at the Farmers Exchange, by the way, they have so many fruit trees. I don't know if you can see behind me. These are different varieties of nectarines and plums. These are your blueberries. This is actually where I got my pink blueberry. If you're looking for pink blueberries and you are in the South Carolina Rock Hill region, I got them, my first one here. I'm gonna see if I can find it. That one's called Jewel Sunshine. Jewel. I may not have them yet, but this is where I got my pink blueberry from. They have figs. They have everything here, and I've had really good luck. Black raspberries right here. I've had really good luck buying their plants. What is this one? It looks like an elderberry. Oh, it is. Elderberry, blackberry. Okay, I don't see the pink blueberry right now, but that doesn't mean they're not gonna have it. I have seen places online that sell it too, and if I am over here at any point and see them, I'll be sure to put a little post out and let people know they have them. They usually do, so I'm surprised I haven't found them yet. Grapes, olives. I've never tried growing olives. That could be fun. Arugula, see this? See how that's poking up? That is starting to bolt. I'm trying to get in the shade so you can see it better. Can you see that? See how those are rising up high? Those are getting ready to send up flowers. That is gonna bolt. So that means it's a little bit warm for this guy. If you were to buy this, find a shadier spot, find a place that it's a little bit cooler, and you might be able to nurse it through. I mean, arugula, you can kind of harvest at any point, so you could probably go ahead and harvest even that right there if you wanted to. But if you start seeing the plants sending up a stalk like that, that's a flower. And when you see a flower, that means it's too hot for it, and it's the end of its life. Here's another one. Why would you do radishes this way? What am I gonna do with them? Okay. Again, all on top of one another. I don't know why you would plant radishes that way. Radishes are a root vegetable, so I can't imagine they love being separated. You know, the point is for their root and the bulb at the bottom to grow, and they're not going to grow if you're tearing them apart. So yeah, again, if you want to give that a try, you can. I would probably plant seeds, and it's getting a little warm for them, so I'd call it quits on that one. What are these? Spinach, but look at this. I'm trying to see if this is a different type of spinach. Tender dark green leaves. Do you see that? That looks like spinach, but see that stalk in the middle? That, to me, you can see the flowers starting to form in there. Bolting. It's bolting. It's probably going to be too hot for spinach. So those are just some things that I wanted you guys to be cautious of when you're out here looking at plants. I don't want people buying plants and then having them, you know, get too hot. They're going to bolt, and then you're going to be frustrated because what you bought isn't going to work. We are not far away also from your summer veg. They've got them out here. Again, I said this at the beginning, don't plant these outside yet if you get them, because we still have a last frost date of April 1st. But they've got some peppers and tomatoes that they're starting. Wait to buy those until after April 1st, and you should be fine. And then you shouldn't have any worries. But I think for now, that's probably all I'm going to do for today. I don't think there's anything I missed. Most of the stuff that we covered is going to be your cool weather veg. And I'll try to do a list probably on Instagram. I do these little photo tiles where I'll say what's safe to plant and what's not. And while some of the stuff you can get away with, some of it is definitely probably getting quickly past its prime. Oh, here's strawberries, though. We can do a whole thing on strawberries, too. Strawberries are good. Strawberries are always good. But yeah, I'll put something together and so that you have a list of what's considered some of these spring vegetables. And if I remember to, I'll go around and get pictures of some of this stuff so that I can, again, put some of my points on there and let you guys know what I think is a good buy or not a good buy. And, you know, you can decide for yourself. You don't have to listen to me. That's fine. I'm just speaking from my own personal experience and things that I've learned and the things that I would or would not buy when I'm going through here and looking at this stuff. So anyway, happy gardening, happy spring, and I hope to see you soon.